As-Salam alaikum and welcome to this episode of In the Shade of Ramadan. Inshallah, today we're going to talk about utilizing the month of Ramadan as a time of healing and recovery. You know, it's been a very long year and some of us have experienced all sorts of trials, from divorce to death in the family to maybe falling out with some friends. Maybe people are having issues in this economy, finding good employment, issues with their kids. Maybe people are suffering from different types of addictions. Maybe they're just unhappy. And subhanAllah, this is the time of year to really look into that and to try to heal from a lot of the injuries we've experienced, heal from a lot of the experiences that have caused pain. And by healing, I'm referring to a spiritual healing, such that a person can come out of a situation and still feel whole and still not be traumatized by whatever it was that we've gone through. And the first thing that I want us to think about is that this life was not meant to be easy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, verily we created man in toil, in struggle, in trial. You know, this is something that we expect from this life. But at the same time, we're supposed to face those struggles and trials with faith, and in such a way that we can walk away from them even gracefully, with compassion, with becoming a better person instead of becoming worse. So the first thing that I want us to think about in regards to this is to forgive yourself and to forgive others. And I say to forgive yourself because sometimes the problem we think is with others, but in reality, it's a strong level of discontentment with one's own self that is nagging the person and causing the person to feel pain. So realize that you have the ability to forgive yourself. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran to never despair from the mercy of Allah. Whatever it is that you've done or that you've gone through, don't despair from His mercy. The other thing is sometimes the person has been traumatized by what someone else has done to them. Forgive them as well. This is the time for forgiveness. And the Prophet ﷺ, he told us that if a person ever suffers an injury from someone else and they forgive that person, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will raise that person's rank and will forgive the forgiver's own sins. So subhanAllah, your forgiveness is a reason to be forgiven. So practice forgiveness, inshallah. And also to remember that man la yarham la yurham, that the person who does not show mercy is not shown mercy. Practice forgiveness of yourself and practice the forgiveness of others. And it's easier said than done. It's something, I know it's going to take me 5 minutes to say, but it will probably take days to actually think about, reflect on, and do. But make that a goal for yourself, inshallah. The second step is to use Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and appeal to Him as a means of getting through whatever it is that you've gone through. And He has many names that we can reflect on. One of the names that we can appeal to Him through that, you know, would help us, inshallah, is His name, As-Salam, the giver of peace. You know, appeal to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the giver of peace, to give you peace again, to give your heart peace, to give your mind peace. You can also appeal to His other beautiful name, Ash-Shafi, the healer, and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to heal the wounds that you don't see, to heal the wounds you know are there, you don't even know how they've affected you. And the third one is to appeal to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as Al-Hadi, as the guide, the ultimate guide. Because a lot of times when people go through something difficult, it affects their understanding. The experience somehow leaves them scarred in such a way that they leave confused. And subhanAllah, there's actually a line from a cartoon movie that I remember. It's the movie The Tale of Despero. And it's a cartoon movie, and yet it has actually a lot of really interesting adult lessons. And one of the lines that struck me is, sometimes when a heart breaks, it grows back crooked. And subhanAllah, it's natural for people to experience difficult trials and to feel their heart break in the midst of those trials, especially things that include, feeling betrayed by someone else or let down by someone else. And in these situations, it's easy to be shaped in a bad way. Someone has a bad marriage experience, then they go and hate all men. Or someone has a bad experience with a woman and they start to see all women in a bad way. Whatever the case is. And we ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't let us walk away from those experiences scarred and crooked. We want to come back whole and better. So to appeal to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as Al-Hadi, to guide us and guide us in our understanding, as He is the supreme guide. And the third thing is not just to use Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a means in the sense of holding on to Him to get through the difficulties, but He's also the goal. He's not just the means, He's also the goal. So at the end of the road, you want to get back to Him. The Prophet ﷺ has a beautiful statement where he basically says that if someone is seeking the dunya, then he'll find all of his affairs scattered and as though he can't collect them. And if someone is seeking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in al-akhirah, he'll find that all of his affairs are gathered and the dunya actually will come after him even though he's not seeking it. And it requires of us to have a certain degree of zuhd, to have things physically around us, but those things are not in our heart because our heart is actually filled with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Himself. Sometimes a lot of the experiences people go through in terms of addictions, it's because they're looking for that acceptance or that validation through something, or they're filling their heart with something because they feel that emptiness. And what their heart is really seeking is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And your heart will never be satisfied with anything, not with television, not with addictions, not with any of the things that you're doing or we're doing. Your heart will never be satisfied except by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Himself. And the fourth step is that sometimes the problems are bigger than just praying and going back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in terms of worship, but we actually have to go and get professional help. And professional help should not be seen as a taboo. It's not seen as, you're crazy or something. It's something that you should see as a means of tazkiyah, of purifying your heart from ills, purifying your mind from ills. So go and get professional help if that's the next step for you. If you've experienced something that's traumatizing or something that you feel would affect you later on in life in terms of marriage or family, this is a time to recover and heal. So go and get professional help. You've taken the first step by watching a video. And we know the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ that someone who takes a step towards Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes to them in arm's length. And if you go to Him in arm's length, He comes to you a fathom's length. And if you go to Him walking, then He comes to you rushing. So be happy that you've taken the first step. Now take the second and third and fourth and fifth step to really try to recover and heal from whatever you've experienced. And remember that you're worth it and that you're not beyond recovery. Don't think, I'm so screwed up right now, nothing can help me. That's not true. It's the shaitan and it's his waswasa. You can easily get out of whatever situation that you're in. You just have to be willing to struggle a little bit longer, a little bit harder to get through it. And choose this month, this year, 2010, Ramadan, to really heal and recover from whatever you have experienced, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant you a blessed Ramadan, and may He grant you a blessed healing and recovery. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum.